retirement is still a very new concept. There is a recognition quite late on, because we've known all the facts for a long time, that most of us are going to live a lot longer, much longer than the traditional notion of retirement or expected death in the middle to late 60s. So we've simply seen the ageing of populations as a problem, not as an opportunity. Our society is still very youth-oriented, and the provisions for older people are very basic and not consistent with a modern notion of retirement. That is, a life, a fulfilling life beyond work. And this is exemplified by the housing for older people. It tends to be small, it tends to be basic, and there's a presumption that older people don't need much. Now, the incoming of the baby boomers into the retirement period will change all that, because their expectations are very high. So retirement living will respond to a new market, but it hasn't got very far yet. So we have, for example, some retirement communities in Britain, and they're mostly on greenfield sites out beyond towns and cities, not close to where everybody else lives. They're in pleasant, often very nice ghettos, but they're separated off from society. And this is exactly the model that we used in the 19th century for taking people with mental illnesses out of the general community. We put them in the middle of nowhere. And I'm sure it's not purposeful, but retirement communities out in the middle of nowhere may look very nice, but they're not stimulating, they're not intergenerational, they're not close to activity, they're not close to the services that people need, medical services, entertainment, shopping, meeting. Not a model for modern old age. The other kinds of retirement housing for people who are not fortunate enough to be able to buy into those places are, why don't you downsize and live in a nice one-bedroomed apartment which isn't specially well designed for you, it's not ergonomic, it's not easy to live in, but it's nice and it's cheaper. And that kind of bargain basement attitude to living in old age is something that we have to put aside and invest a lot more in understanding older people in the third age and what they want and what they need and what will enable them to continue being part of the society in which they are going to be such an important part.